Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Forgotten Favorites. Of course, the program we're doing each and every morning here throughout the month of August 2021, where we're going to be taking a look at some cool things from my collection. Remember, Forgotten Favorites. It's titled this way because these are favorites of mine, but in some cases, with a really large collection like I have, you may forget about some of this stuff. These are like obscurities, rarities, little-known releases, maybe some albums by bands that everybody knows that nobody ever talks about. But stuff that I really dig a lot. But yeah, they may not be favorites of many or even known to many, but I really dig them a lot. But they're albums that, may forget about from time to time. But now's a great time to talk about them in hopes that maybe I dig some stuff out of my collection that you've never heard before, or maybe that you haven't listened to in a long time, that you'll go and revisit now. So the cool thing is, it's like if you've never heard of these bands or these albums, go check them out. Stream them wherever, listen wherever, buy them, whatever, and then report back in and say, hey, you know what? That was a pretty good album. Or you know what? I didn't like that album at all. Whatever. The cool thing is that you go and experience something new, hopefully, right? So today, a band originally from Rochester, New York, formed in 1968, right in the midst of the psychedelic era. So a New York band. They recorded this album on some professional recording equipment in one of the friends' basement. All right, and in hopes that they would get a record contract and get signed and, fame and glory, and unfortunately that never happened. But fast forward all the way to 2011 by a bunch of dudes at Jargon Records. They released this on CD. It's now also being reissued a couple years ago on LP with like a slightly different cover look. Sabattis, Warning in the Sky. Some of you may be seeing this album cover and hearing the title of or the name of the band and thinking, ooh, that sounds like some pretty kind of creepy stuff. Don't be fooled by the name of the band. It's not, anything like that. It's just really good late 60s, early 70s psychedelic hard rock in the vein of, very early Deep Purple, like pre-in rock Deep Purple. The Rod Evans era Deep Purple, with hints of like Atomic Rooster, Vanilla Fudge. God, who else? Yeah, that sort of thing, for the most part. Heavy Hammond organ, lots of biting guitar, good guitar solos. The guitars aren't really heavy and crunchy. That's the one thing. It's like, a lot of times during this album, you almost get the feel that if they had cranked up, add a little distortion to the guitars, this might have found a different audience, or, had maybe prompted some of the record labels to take note. But that being said, really good stuff here. And I'm amazed at how really good this sounds. I mean, the first time I bought this, my first thought was like, okay, because they play this up like it's just this really, really heavy album, and it's actually not. It's rocking for sure. It's hard rocking in spots, but it's more of a showcase for some fantastic vocals, really good organ, like I said, and the guitars are real tasty. They're very melodic. They're biting. There's just not a lot of crunch to this album, but it's almost like, the more you listen to it, it doesn't really need to be. So let's talk about who they are. And these guys were like teenagers at the time. All right, so they were like late teens. You got Jim Marvin on guitars and lead vocals. You got Rocky Kaler on bass, Gary Kulata on keyboards and vocals, and Larry Wegman on drums. Recorded March 1970, Rochester, New York, by Mick Guzowski in his parents' basement. All right. So it says, please note that these recordings were transferred from a 1/4-inch reel tape that had been dubbed from the original master tape. There are some dropouts, hiss, and warble issues from time to time. This is because of the quality and condition of our source material. I will say it sounds really good. This is probably one of the best sounding like basement recordings you're ever going to hear. It just sounds really good. Good songs. You got 7 tracks in total. You got some hard rockers and you got some mellower pieces. You got Every Day is Cool, Crystal Mirror, and Warning in the Sky, which are the 3 tracks that kick off the album. All good, Iron Butterfly, Atomic Rooster, early Deep Purple, Vanilla Fudge, that sort of thing. Psychedelic, swirling organ, bluesy but biting guitar, really strong vocals, catchy tunes, right? Then you got Conversations with Billy, which is much more atmospheric and laid back. Like this, mostly a song for like acoustic guitar and organ. Really good. Vocals are really strong. The Devil's in You is another hard rocker tune. Okay. And then you've got Bought and Sold, which is kind of like a folky piece, mostly acoustic, very, very folky. And then Green Glass and All That Jazz finishes up the album. And the album is only 33 minutes. It's pretty quick. Green Glass, try and say that really fast. Green Glass and All That Jazz. Another good kind of atmospheric psychedelic rocker to end the album. So, like I said, it's not overly heavy. It's definitely of its time. If you love organ-led late 60s, early 70s rock music with some, pretty tasty guitar soloing and strong vocals and songs that, kind of run the gamut, psych, hard rock, folky, bluesy, that type of thing. A little bits of pop. You get all of it here. Quite good. I would say, again, point of reference, the first 3 Deep Purple albums, the first 2 Atomic Rooster albums, maybe even the 3rd album, first 3. Hold on a second. If all of you don't recognize that music, I am actually taping this as the brand new Sea of Tranquility video is airing, so I left that on. So that's the little countdown music. I forgot that I had it on there. So so you got a little taste of that. I'm sure some of you hate that music, right? I see comments all the time. I hate this countdown music. Unfortunately, that's a YouTube thing. I can't really change that. So anyway, back to Sabattis, Warning in the Sky. This is quite good. Like I said, you should still be able to get this CD, and there's also an LP reissue that has come out in recent years. You look them up there, you can find this all over the internet. So quite good, really good young band. Real shame that this was kind of it, and that their fortunes didn't quite turn out as they planned. But a great example of a really, really, really young psychedelic hard rock band from the New York area, who released this at the turn of the 70s, right? Quite good. I like this. I've had this for a number of years, and I think I've talked about this once before on one of our older Forgotten Favorites shows where I would talk about a whole slew of releases, but I wanted to give this one a little bit more time today, a little bit, and featured all on its own because I think it's definitely worthwhile for folks who like that late 60s, early 70s stuff and are looking for something new that they hadn't heard before. This is definitely one to check out. Good vocals, good musicianship, good songs, only 33 minutes long, so it's not like it's a big, long album, and it's definitely worth your time. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Coming up each and every morning throughout the month, we've got more of these Forgotten Favorites, so stay tuned for all sorts of stuff coming up. I got some prog, got some hard rock, got some metal, got some fusion-y stuff, all sorts of things are coming, so you'll just have to wait and see. We've got, coming up on the channel today, should have a couple of new product reviews for you today, probably 1 or 2 at least. And then we've got tomorrow, we have the Monsters Den. We've got special guests coming over from Comic Book Geezers. We've got Kirk Manning joining me tomorrow to fill in for Chris Allo tomorrow. Kirk and I are going to just kind of talk about some cool horror flicks we've been watching of late, right? So it's kind of like a recommendation show of some cool stuff you should check out. And then Friday morning at the Funhouse, we got Martin Popoff and I talking about our top 5 favorite producers. And then we've got also Simon Bray coming back on the channel on Friday. He and I are going to rank our top 5 favorite albums from UK Melodic Rockers 10. And then over the weekend, we've got another episode of Album Homework Assignment where Martin and I will go head-to-head with Jamie Laszlo doing the refereeing, where we've each been given an assignment. We'll be talking about those on Sunday. So stay tuned for all that and more. Please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content. If you want to make a channel donation to help us keep buying all this stuff to talk about, the link to that is below to our Ko-Fi page, and we've also got the link to our merch page and seatranquility.org, the webzine that has been on the internet for 20 years now. So thanks for watching. I'm Pete Pardo. We'll see you later on. Take care. Bye-bye.